All right, all right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Uncooped podcast. This is episode number 10. Thank you guys again for coming by and keep it coming by. This has been so much fun. I've been having such a blast, and we're right in the thick of the summer right now. Summer's going, green everywhere, babies everywhere. It's just one of my favorite times, and everything's just it's extremely busy. So I do thank all the guests for taking a little bit of time of their day to enjoy this and get to know a little bit more. So before we get started, tonight's episode is actually sponsored by Eaton Pet and Pasture. Eaton Pet and Pasture specializes in hemp bedding. And if you ever wanted to try hemp bedding, I highly suggest trying them out. They have got some great products. It's super absorbent, less dust. They're a farmer-owned company, so I definitely highly recommend them. They have nesting pads, hemp bedding, Timothy hay, and they got some premium grubs for your chickens. So highly recommend checking them out. And yeah, tonight's episode, we got a fun guest. We got Molly here from, we got the Homestead Cortes. Did I say it right?
It's actually Cortes.
I was going to say Cortes, so...
Yeah, no, that's okay. Everybody, it's one or the other, depending on where you're from in the United States. Some people, like in the South, we say Cortes because we're right on the border. But yeah, a lot of other people say Cortes. So
it's okay. Well, the Homestead Cortes.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, Thank you so much for coming on. For the people that don't know you, give us a little elevator pitch. What makes you you?
Well, I would say, I don't know what makes me me, but I would say, at least like for my social medias, I would say it's just very normal stuff. I wouldn't say that I'm anybody that tries to teach you things. Like, I'm not a teaching page by any means because I barely know anything about my life or the chickens. I just really enjoy sharing what I'm doing, especially with the chickens. That's, my rise to fame is my chickens. So everything I do is just very normal. Nothing special.
Yeah, I was going to say we have very similar styles, and that's why I think I connected with you. I don't personally like to teach as well because, I don't want to give the wrong advice, or I'm not an expert myself, and what works for me may not work for someone else. So you kind of do like fun skits, and you just showing kind of your daily life and you being you. So
Yeah. Teaching people is hard too, because, what works for you, like you said, other people are like, don't do that. It doesn't work. And you're like, well, it works perfect for me. So,
yeah.
Yes.
And you definitely don't want to steer anyone the wrong way but I try to be as helpful as I can and just kind of, show throughout my life and my videos, what it takes to be kind of a chicken keeper.
A chicken tender. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Like, you probably get them too, but you can get tons of messages and, you're helping people through the messages or the comments. But I think that's like as far as my expertise goes.
Yeah, definitely. For the people that don't know you, where do you live at? And so you kind of specialize just in chickens, right?
Yeah, just chickens. We're hoping to get other farm animals, but it takes time and money. And both of those, you have one, but you don't have the other. So it's like, and I feel like chickens are the easiest farm animal to start with. They're very low maintenance on the totem pole. But I am in Southeast Texas, so I'm really near Houston.
Okay.
I like to call it like the armpit of Texas because the humidity is like 100 every single day of the year. So it's very swampy over here.
Yeah, I would imagine. And you probably got temps like over 100, huh?
I think so. I think our heat index for today is like 112.
Oh, wow. So that adds a whole nother, realm to keeping chickens and a whole nother, problems that chickens definitely don't do well with heat.
They don't know. And they are very hardy animals, like even in the winter, they're very hardy, but heat, for some reason, they just, at least mine, sometimes they're just standing in the middle of the yard. And I'm like, get out of the sun. It's hot. And I mean, they have natural ways to cool down, but you can give them treats and, to help them cool down and frozen stuff and et cetera. But when it starts reaching like triple digits, I don't think really any kind of life likes to be outside.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a lot on them, and there's only so much they can do with shade and dust
Yeah.
baths and cold
Yeah.
water, but it's
Yeah.
rough out there.
It is rough. I do feel bad for them, but they have a lot of places they could get out of the sun. And of course I give them, ways to cool down, but
Yeah.
I would not want to spend my day in 112-degree weather. So
No, definitely. And with full feathers and everything.
yeah, 100%.
How did you kind of start with chickens? Kind of go back to like your very first like purchase with them, and how did you kind of get them?
Yeah, sure. So I grew up with chickens. I think like
Okay.
my elementary school years, we had chickens, and I was pretty much the only kid that would jack around with them.
Yep.
And then as an adult, I wanted chickens, but we just, again, like time and money, we just never got them. And then my mom was moving one day and couldn't take, I think she had like 2 or 3 hens. She couldn't take them with her. And she was like, "Hey, you want my chickens?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And so I got a
Yeah.
coop, I got some chickens. And so, um, being a kid and having your parents, help you like, "Hey, you got to feed them. They need this, you need that," is so much different than just getting chickens and being like, what do I do with them again?
Yeah.
How do I keep them alive? So, yeah. And I would say maybe that was 4 years ago at this point. And then, I mean, chicken math, as I'm
Yeah.
sure you're very full aware, you
Oh yeah.
start with 2, and then in a few months you have 20, and you're like, where did all these chickens come from?
Oh yeah. It's a rabbit hole down to all the different breeds and colors
Oh my
and
gosh.
feather types and
It really is. Yeah. And I still meet people to this day that they're like, "Your chickens lay blue eggs or green eggs?" And I'm
oh
like,
yeah.
"Yeah." And they're like, "Are they edible?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, it's just a different breed. Like everything's the same. It's all the same on the
Yeah.
inside. It's just, yeah."
To me,
But
it was that blue egg. When I saw that blue egg, that was one of the first things that got me. I'm like, what? I didn't even know that they came in different colors like that. And it was a rabbit
I'm
hole. And it's so much
exactly.
further than you can even imagine. There's like 8 generations deep with the olive eggers and
I
Morans.
know. I know. And there are some very beautiful olive eggers that
Oh,
even I follow on Instagram. And I'm like, I don't think in a million years I could replicate that,
oh,
because it's a lot. Because I mean, you breed them, and then it takes so many days to hatch, and then so many days to start laying.
yep. It's like
People who
5 years
truly
into it.
It really is. And I don't think people understand that. I think that they sometimes jump into it thinking like, "Oh, I'm going to do olive eggers." And it's like,
Yeah.
no, that's some serious business.
Yeah. And then it's always such a letdown when they get the olive eggers like their first time from like, a big name hatchery or something like that. And they're green, they're olive colored for sure.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they're not like that Pinterest, that Instagram quality like that you dreamed of.
Yeah. Like the dark green ones with like
Yeah.
the dark green speckles. Oh, yeah.
Love those.
Those are definitely goals.
5 years in, just dedicated to the hobby and dedicated to like making that color
It
unique.
does. Yeah. I think it takes, I mean, I have not attempted it, because just trying to breed chickens in general, I mean, I think it has to be like a lot of bookkeeping, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Because it's like, my brain I'm just like, listen, I will love y'all's photos from
Yep.
afar, because that will not be me. I will not have
Exactly.
those gorgeous olive eggers. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So that
Yes.
kind of leads into my next topic. What did you kind of like get into? What I would say this, what would you enjoy the best about the chickens? What do you kind of get out of it? Like, is it more like the food wise, kind of the pet wise, or just like a combination of both?
I would say probably the pet wise. And that might be shocking if you look on my page, because I
Right.
do, I use them for meat, I use them for eggs, but in reality, we don't really eat that many eggs,
Yeah.
which is surprising to people. And I'm like, no, my
Right.
kids do not like eggs. Like they're free to us, but my kids do not eat them. So I do sell the eggs, but really they're kind of pets at this point. Um, Pets that also, generate an income, like with
Yeah.
selling eggs for eating or hatching, things like that. But just pets nonetheless, because, you lose one, they die or etc. And it's sad, just like it would be like, oh, a cat passes away,
Right.
it's still pretty
Yeah.
sad.
They have like their own little personalities, and different ones have like unique characteristics about them as well too.
They do, yeah. And I think that's another thing that people don't understand is like, you can have 10 chickens and not all 10 are going to be like super friendly and loving. You'll
Yeah.
have like 2 out of there that you can hold and they see you and they come running.
Oh yeah.
And people are like, no, chickens aren't that smart. And I'm like, no, no, no. You don't understand. Chickens are very intelligent.
Very. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have
Yes.
like routines, and they have, resourcefulness. If they don't got no
Oh,
food, they'll find something.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're very smart, yeah. And I think before I actually like got into being a chicken tender,
Mhm.
I didn't know that either. I got them and I was like, it's a chicken.
Yeah.
But after you have them and then have different breeds, because you see like different breeds are a little more quirkier than other breeds.
Yep.
It's just you just don't expect any of that from a chicken.
I know. You kind of
Yeah.
see like that typical like red and white chicken and in the pasture or
Oh
whatever. And
yeah.
there's so many unique colors, feather patterns, and just they're all, in my opinion, they're all really unique.
Yeah, yeah, they are. Yeah, I think I actually had posted something about it today with like the Turkins.
Oh yeah.
And anytime somebody, comes by my house, they always assume that something's wrong with the Turkin. Like they're like, "Oh, is that one sick?" And I'm like, "No, that's just the breed, perfectly healthy." And they're like, "Why would you want a chicken that looks like that?" And I'm like, "Why wouldn't you want a chicken that looks like that?"
Exactly. Yeah. The Turkins are a very good conversation starter. They're
Yes. They're so
people,
funny, just like running around. They are a very good, yeah, because people will stop and be like, "What is that?"
yeah. They always like just don't understand. Oh, is that just how it's like made with no feathers, or was it pecked out, or
Yeah, like they're like, "Is it being bullied?" And I'm like,
yeah,
"No, she's actually the bullier out of
right?
everybody."
Is she mixed with a turkey? No.
I love that question. They're like, "So turkey, and that's like a half turkey. Do you get
Yeah.
bigger eggs?" And I'm like, "No,
No.
I wish, but
I'm not even sure how the name came about, but it's probably an interesting story.
yeah, I know. I don't even know how the breed came about, but
Yeah.
I think they're so not cute that they're absolutely cute.
Yeah. Exactly. The
Yeah.
weirder, the better over here.
Yes, I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the little showgirl silkies. I know Diva Girls. She's got some that have like the little naked necks, and they have little pink
Those,
spots, and
I know. I
they're
know.
so
Every time
cute.
I see them, I'm like, I don't need silkies. I don't need
Yeah.
silkies. I don't need silkies. Because I'm like, I feel like if I get one, it's
Yep.
gonna like snowball into this whole other thing. And I'm like, listen, I got like 40 chickens, 3
Right.
kids, 3 dogs. I don't need any more projects right now. But yes, the silkies with the little naked necks. Oh, I can't.
One day. One day I'll
One day.
get some.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
just mostly work with regular silkies, but yeah, they're their own category. I feel like they're so adorable. One day you're gonna get one.
I know. I would love some. I know it's going to become like an obsession. And
Yep,
I'm like, I need to be prepared for that obsession
exactly.
because they are just so cute. Yes.
Yep. My silkies have their own little pen, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
all have their own little attitude and names, and oh, I love the silkies.
I know. I've touched a silky one time, believe it or
Oh,
not.
they're
I had
so
a friend
soft, and they smell good, they're cute.
so soft. And I'm like, how is this a chicken right now? Like chickens are soft, like in their
Yep.
down feathers, but silkies are like a whole nother
Yeah,
category.
they're like pet the little afro, and they're just adorable.
They really are. Yes.
Yeah, Silkies kind of got me into the whole breeding aspect of it, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I can kind of make a little bit of money on the
Yeah.
side and pay
Oh,
for the
yeah.
feed. So I kind of
Yeah.
ran with that, and I've really been enjoying it so far.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
Finally going to be getting NPIPS certified hopefully this year. So
Yeah.
making that big step.
Oh, yeah. So in PI, because y'all are in Minnesota, right?
Yep, yep,
So
Minnesota.
is in a NPIP, is it hard? to get it up there? Because like in Texas, it's a very easy process.
No, it seems pretty easy. I
Okay.
actually got a friend that became a tester recently, so I was a little bit more willing to give it a shot just because I could,
Yeah.
she knows my place. She's been here multiple times, so we
Oh
would
yeah.
be able to do it in a timely manner and
Oh yeah.
safely. And I was just so worried about all the different aspects to it, but it doesn't sound too complicated.
No, it's at least in Texas, it's super fast, super easy, and yeah, it's worth it if you're gonna be selling birds, especially like shipping them. I
Yeah.
think it's worth it.
The biggest kind of thing I would use it for would be the hatching eggs.
Yeah.
I just get so many hatching eggs, and there's only so much you can sell locally. So I would love
Oh
to be able
yeah.
to send them to friends or
Oh
followers
yeah.
or whatever. So
Oh yeah. Especially silkies, those hatching eggs. Oh yeah, they're gonna pay the bills definitely.
yeah, it's been fun. I've definitely enjoyed them.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite breed that you have currently?
My favorites are really just the OG barred rocks,
Oh,
which I know people are like when they think of a chicken, they either think of like a barred rock or like a
yep.
Rhode Island, those are
Mhm.
like what everybody gravitates towards. But barred rocks, they're they're like for me, they're like the quirkiest breed. Like they're so
Oh,
curious. They're so bad. They're always like they're the type that like get on my car, that like get on the neighbors' cars.
wander wherever they're not supposed to.
Yes, those are the barred rocks. So I've always loved them, and those, yeah,
Nice. I
yeah.
actually just got my first, well, not just, but a couple months ago, I got a barred rock hen. So or a little pullet. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll kind of see her personality.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, she'll probably be hopefully one of the
Firehouse.
quirkiest. Hopefully she doesn't let me down. But
Right, right.
yeah,
And
they're
don't
they're my
the roosters have like little bit different of a pattern too on their feathers when they
the
start
who
growing in? The
the rooster.
roosters of the barred rocks.
I think so, and I didn't know that.
Mhm.
But yeah, like all the females and males that I have, it's almost as if the males are a little, man, I don't even know how to explain it. But when you see them side by side, especially as younger, it's like the males have a little more of like the straight barring,
Oh, okay.
whereas the girls are more like a modeled barring, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
that makes sense.
But
Yeah, definitely.
I love a good looking like barred rock rooster that has great barring. Oh, just chef's
Yeah,
kiss.
they're
When I
really
see them, I'm
handsome.
like, yes.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I work at a farm store, so I sell all the different breeds through hatcheries and stuff like
That's
that. So I always
right.
recommend that one kind of as like a good like family pet one or like
Or like a starter breed.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, something that's gonna get them. And it's a different color pattern too. It's not crazy, but it's enough to get them, excited.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, like, no offense to Rhode Islands or like
Yeah,
the Buff
exactly.
Orpingtons, they're a little boring,
Mhm.
but that they are a good starter breed because they lay like crazy. But the bards are a little fun to look at,
Yeah,
a little funner.
exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
So you mentioned that you do sell your eggs. Where do you kind of sell them through? Like just people that you've met, word of mouth, or social media?
Really, I would say it's just really friends and family.
Yeah.
I sell a lot at church, and
Oh,
then
nice.
also, thankfully, I live off of like a busy street, and so I just put an egg sign at that street, and I'm like,
Nice.
"Hey, eggs down here," and I think that's where like majority of my customers come from is just people passing by, and they're like, "Hey, I saw your egg sign," and I'm like, "Good, come
Nice.
get them," because I have like 10 dozen in my fridge.
Oh, I know. Or they start piling up on my counter, and it's like, oh, what do I do with them all?
I know, and I'm like, y'all gotta start buying these eggs. I can't have this many dozen. They're taking up space.
I know. And like a few
Yes.
months, like probably 6 months ago, they would have this was like gold mine back then. But
I know. It's like in the summertime and spring you get so many, and then winter is when
mhm,
everybody's like, I need eggs. And I'm like, well, I don't have any. You,
I
you should have
know.
came in the summer. Yes.
Always, always.
Yeah.
So you do a lot of like social media stuff. Kind of how has social media played like a role in all of your like, growth and development? Did you have like one that blew up or was just like a slow progress of like growing over time?
I would say mine's a slow, which I don't think a lot of people know, but yeah, I think I started my page in 2019 and it's
Okay.
really not that big. So it's like it's definitely a slow.
Right.
Um, I think I used to hit it harder than I have like the last year because social media is a lot. And I don't think a lot of people understand that, but like posting regularly and talking and networking, it's a lot of energy and a lot of scheduling. And I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Mhm.
Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just do like, yeah, like we talked about earlier, like I used to do TikTok, but I was like, I can't juggle this again. And
Yep.
then recently I started getting more into YouTube, a little bit more, which is still a slow growth, but I don't
Yep.
mind that because I don't think I'll ever be like making my millions from social media. It's just, I think it's a fun, um, like out, you know what I mean? Like it's fun to create the videos and talk to people like you who has chickens and can get the obsession that we have with our animals. So,
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. And it's been a fun like outlet to kind of reach like people like you said, like you that kind of get what you're going through. The social
Yeah,
media aspect is it is mentally draining sometimes,
it is.
being able to post, having to post on certain times or have to
Yes.
keep up, feel like you have to keep up in order to stay relevant. But
Yeah.
you got
Yeah,
like
that
18,000 on your Instagram, is that right? 18,000?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean,
that's good.
I've been at 18 for probably months. I just like you said, like it's like staying relevant not only is like that difficult, but also like it's kind of like mentally difficult. Do you know what I mean? Because it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
you can like I think I had to well, I hid like the likes on all of my stuff. So it's like I don't see what whoever has many likes, I don't see your number of likes. You can't see my number of likes because I'm like, I feel like, you post something really good and it gets 20 likes and you're like,
Yep.
this was a gold mine. Like, how did y'all not love this? Um,
Exactly.
and so I'm like, I had to take that off because I had to keep reminding myself that it's my page. And if I enjoy it, theoretically, I don't care if y'all enjoy it. Like it's what I enjoy. And I need to like you need to stop doing it for like other people's approval. You know what I mean? Um
Exactly.
yeah, so I think I did stop a lot of that because I was like, I can't, you post something that's trending and then somebody else posts it and theirs does way better. And you're like, man, mine did not do as good. And that's kind of rough. And it's like self-sabotaging too. And so it's
Yeah.
just
It's funny that you actually say that because I was kind of going through those emotions this week with certain stuff. And, it's like, I have
hmm,
to always remind myself, it's like, this is just internet likes that don't mean anything, at the end of
it
the
is.
day.
It is, yeah. And I don't think a lot of people talk about that, like their things don't do well, or there's like a slight competition that happens on behind the scenes, and I'm like, nobody talks about that enough because I'm like, it's kind of rough. Like even from people who don't have that many followers or engagement, like it's still a lot of pressure. And I'm like, we all start this, like we usually all start our pages because we love our chickens and we
Yeah.
love sharing them and seeing other people's olive eggers and things like that. But then it like just kind of snowballs into other things. And it's like, let's get back to just the enjoyment of doing it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to remind myself too. I'm like, this is kind of like a daily like journal for me, like a video
Yes.
journal. Like I'd be able to look back on my life like one day if I can't walk and I'll be like, oh, I remember
Yes.
doing all these funny
Yes.
videos and just having a ball with the chickens. And it's
Yes.
for really for you and what you love to do.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and I think it's nice too, like when you can look back, like on chickens that have like passed away,
oh yeah.
and you're like, oh my god, like you like sometimes you do forget those chickens, and you look
Yeah.
back and you're like, oh my god, like that was my baby, and you're like, I'm so glad that I have these things to look back and be like, I totally remember the day and time I took that photo.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There's been a few, I had a couple viral ones that I had lost the chicken in the
Yeah.
video, and it's always like, oh, whenever I see it, it's like I feel a little hard, but it's always a good reminder.
It is a good reminder, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah.
social media aspect is it's fun. It can be rewarding in
Oh yeah.
senses, but then it could just be like, that double-edged sword where it could eat away at your brain and you're just like overthinking everything, but that's
Everything.
not what
Yeah.
it's supposed to be.
Yes. Yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
But the connections I think that I've met are way worth like those moments that I've had lows.
Oh yeah.
And I've been working with different brands, promoting their products as well, which has been
Yeah.
fun too, kind of earning a little bit of money on my own,
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than working for a corporate, stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
know you do a little bit of brand deals too. Is that right?
I do, yeah. I
Yeah.
think I did more in the past
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I feel like I really have been very lazy the last few months. Um and they've been fun and they're great
Mhm.
and I do love working. I feel like sometimes I'm hard on myself because I'm like I feel like maybe I didn't promote it well enough, like to their liking, but
Mhm.
I'm also like at the end of the day, like I should be kind of like honored for like not the right choice of word, but like that they even reached out to me and was like, "Hey, we
Yeah.
want you to help promote it." Like no matter
Mhm.
the brand, I always just kind of like that feeling because I'm like, "Well, thanks," because I didn't think I was that good, but thank
I
y'all.
know it always feels special that, companies
Yeah.
trust you to promote their products and, see that value in you. So
Yeah.
yeah, and you do great videos. So
Okay.
always love your different skits and
Yeah.
you used to do fun little ones where like you're dressing up with the little like, sundresses and
Yes. Yes.
those were
Yeah.
great.
I know. Yeah.
But
Thank
now
you.
you do kind of like you're killing it on YouTube. I checked out your YouTube channel and you're doing really good. Your views are really good. You got like
Thank
1,000
you.
subscribers. So that you're teaching
Yes.
people different stuff too with the homesteading and the homeschooling, right?
Yes, yeah, homesteading and homeschooling all these children. But yes, yeah, I've had YouTube for a few years, but I think the last few months I've been trying to like post consistently. Um, and that in itself is kind of hard, but um, yeah, so
Here's your
YouTube
page
is
too.
fun,
Look
and
at
I
your
think
page. You got a whole website and everything.
I do, yes,
I
yeah,
love
which
it.
that's probably has not been updated in
That's
quite
okay.
some time.
That's okay. You're at least you got one, that's says a lot. I don't actually technically have one.
Yeah. Well, I really don't think you even need one. I got it to like save the name, you know what I
Yep,
mean? But I don't think you need one.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you do some fun like photography stuff. I know these are probably a little bit older, but look at all
Yes.
the chickens.
I do love taking baby chick photos. Those
Oh,
are I mean, granted, they're like the easiest ones because the adult chickens, they either want to
hide
sit
away and
still or you're
yep.
not ever going to get a photo of them. Um, but the baby chicks, as long as you do it like within like a day or two of them hatching, because they're still kind of sleepy,
Yep.
um, they're
It's
my favorite.
adorable.
Yes, I love the baby chick photos.
Yeah, you did some great ones and I always
Yeah.
love seeing those ones.
I know, and I feel like I haven't had baby chicks in forever.
Yep.
And I recently got a shipment a few weeks ago at this point, but before that, I had not had baby chicks in probably like almost a year, just because I had so many like on my own. Um, but yeah, baby chicks, those photos are just they're so sweet.
Yeah, they're really fun.
Yes.
Um So let's see. So what's kind of you were talking about a little bit that you wanted to get some other farm animals. What would kind of be like first on your list that you would want to get
Well,
on your list?
on my list is like those are like little pygmy goats. You know what I mean? The little
Oh yeah.
colorful pygmy goats. Yeah. That's not on my husband's list. He does not want goats even in the slightest.
Oh
Um,
no.
yeah, but I'm like, I feel like I could slip them in and he probably wouldn't even notice. But in reality, I think we're gonna do mini cows.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of those, but
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know that you don't even ask me breeds because that's like my husband's forte.
Okay.
But we don't have like we're only on like 2 acres, so we would rotate the cows. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So the mini cows is really what our land would work for right now.
Nice.
And I'm like, listen, I could throw in some little pygmy goats and they would
It would
not
never,
take up
yeah.
any more space. Yeah,
It wouldn't be that much more. You're already feeding the mini cows, so what's feeding a
exactly.
mini goat?
Yeah, yeah. And then my mother-in-law says that if we get all that, then she's gonna get us like a donkey for protection. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
And
you
I'm
need
like,
the
I
donkey.
100% will take that donkey too.
Yeah, and there's even mini donkeys too.
Exactly. And I'm like, listen, just everything mini and
Mini
it won't
farm.
be a big deal. Yeah.
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 I love all the mini stuff. That's my forte right there.
Yes. Yeah. Just, I don't even, I mean, I have not looked into, I don't even know the first thing about having goats or cows, but I follow a few pages that their primary animal is those little pygmy, like colorful goats. And
Sure, sure.
I'm like, I don't know how y'all don't just spend all day with these
Oh
because
yeah.
they are the cutest.
Especially bottle raised babies. They're so cute and they're really personal. They love coming
Yeah.
up to you. They're so sweet.
I'm like, that's the kind of animal that like I would put a diaper on and put in my house.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I'm like, I could not leave that little baby outside.
yeah,
I would strap it to my chest in like a little baby carrier.
yeah. We have Nigerian dwarfs, and they're
Okay.
they're just so cute. I love them to death.
I know. Yeah, y'all are living the dream up there.
Yeah, I have my wife to thank for that.
Yeah. At
Shout out
least
to the
she's
wife.
supportive.
Yeah, yeah. She grew up doing 4-H and all that stuff,
Oh
so
yeah.
she had the horses and the goats, and we bought our property. And I was like, well, what is my thing? What could I do? Oh,
Yeah.
chickens. That's easy.
Yes. Well, you do like snakes too, right?
Yep, yep. So that's something that we both do together is
Okay.
she loved the snakes and she always wanted to breed them. So we probably like about 2 years ago started breeding snakes and we had our very first babies yesterday.
I did. I saw them. I was like, that's crazy. Because I love watching those like snake unhatching videos on
Oh yeah.
YouTube, like where they like slice open the top and they pull them out.
Yep,
And
yep.
I'm like, that's the neatest thing. I know I saw it and I was like, oh my God, and he's hatching snakes.
Yeah. It felt like I was living like the YouTube video that I always watch too. I'm like, I finally get to do it because it's such a long process compared to like
Yeah.
chickens.
Yeah.
We started breeding those two back in October. It takes
Yeah.
like 1 month each pairing, and then it's 4 pairings, and then 2 months to lay, and then 2 months to
Yeah.
hatch. It's just oh,
Well, did
I
y'all
like.
film it?
We
Like
filmed little bits and pieces of it. Just
okay.
it was so nerve-wracking our first time. We're
I
like,
know.
I don't want to mess anything up.
Yeah. The next batch you'll be
Yeah.
able to, yeah, that'll be a hit
Exactly.
on
I'm like, I
YouTube.
just need one under my belt, and then I can go live or film the
Oh
whole
yeah.
thing. Or
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
yeah, it's been really fun, and I've had kind of like a dual like in this love for both of these. I love my chickens, I
Oh
love my
yeah.
snakes, and just kind of been having such a great time in my life right now. So
Oh yeah.
couldn't be more thankful.
I know, I bet.
Do you have any fun plans coming this year? Anything they want to shout out?
No, nothing. Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
We're very boring over here. And I think sometimes people think that we're all doing big, crazy things. And I'm like, no. Like, I
No,
just got off of work five
right?
minutes ago, and later I had to clean some chicken coops, and
Yep.
that's pretty much
Never
it.
ending chores.
Yeah.
You got like a
Yeah.
garden at all this year, or?
I do, I tried to like go big or go home with my garden. So I had,
Sure.
like squash and strawberries and tomatoes, and it all pretty much died except for the tomatoes.
Oh, they're hardy.
They are hardy. I'm like, you can't really kill them unless like you don't water them.
Right.
But I'm battling like a whole bunch of little bugs that love to eat tomatoes. And so I've been like asking all my gardening friends, like, how can I get rid of these bugs? And
Yeah.
so, which the community is, chicken community or garden community, huge helps. Full of information, always a
Always.
click away, which I'm thankful for because sometimes you can Google it and Google sends you down all these rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Whereas I can ask one friend on Instagram and it's like, boom, answer.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good part too. Get these little connections. You can just learn
Oh
what
yeah,
they learn, and also what I wanted to do with this podcast is just learn from other people, talk with other people. Build that little bit deeper of a connection just besides the videos. So
yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a
Awesome.
good way to do it because, you can comment so many times on people's things or
Right.
message them. But I think like when you're like face to face with somebody having a conversation, and then it's like, oh, okay, I really do know this person. It's not just like an internet buddy.
Yeah. And then when I did these podcasts, I'm like, I'll watch a video of a past guest. I'm like, oh, I talked with them for a little bit. I feel like I know them a
Yeah,
little bit more. And
I
it,
know. I do. Yeah. I
yeah.
think I think I think this is a great idea.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on, and it's
Yes,
been
thank
great
you.
kind of getting to know you a little bit more, and get underneath what those videos are all about. So before I let you get out of here, I have some hot seat questions. All right.
Oh
Oh,
gosh.
I didn't tell you about this one.
I know. And I asked you, I said, hey, let me prepare for these questions.
These are just on the spot questions. Super easy though, nothing crazy.
Okay.
All right. So the first one we got is cooped or uncooped.
Cooped or uncooped?
Yep.
I'm going to say uncooped.
Uncooped. That's the way to go.
I'm going to say that. Yeah.
Crumbles or pellets?
Oh, pellets. 100%.
Pellets. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Mhm.
Rainbow eggs or brown and whites?
That's okay. That's a tricky. Me, aesthetic, rainbow.
Yep.
But I have heard from a lot of people that they prefer like the browns and whites because they peel better whenever you like boil them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That
So
makes
I'm going
sense.
to say rainbow, but I'm going to say for my customers, browns and whites.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Favorite type of chicken that you have? But you've already answered this one.
I do. Well, right now I only have like one adult barred rock because we've had some coyote issues.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, my Turkins right now, those are
Turkins.
kind of my favorite. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
Favorite type of bedding?
Ooh. You mean like flakes or shavings? Or flakes
Any
or
product or size.
right. I would say I don't know like technically what it's called. I think it's just like the flakes where it's like the
Yeah.
bigger, not the fine mist stuff, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? But like just like the larger flakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Those always
cheap
work.
and
Those always
it's
work
good to
good.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. No cedar. I saw someone
Yeah.
post their chickens on cedar the other day. I'm like, no, please, that's toxic.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, cedar bedding is toxic to chickens. So
I did not know that. Well, I'm pretty sure the one that I have is pine.
yeah,
Um,
pine's completely fine. So
yeah, I did not know that about cedar.
and
Good.
last question: dream animal that you could have one day if you could have it.
That's hard. Dream animal,
Yeah.
which is very Texan of me, but I would say horses.
Oh yes.
Yes. I've
We
never
have
ridden a
horses.
horse, but I would love to have some horses.
Yeah, they're beautiful. They're a lot of work,
Oh
but
yeah,
they're majestic, and
yeah,
they can outweigh you easily.
yeah. Well, I've
Outpower
heard
you.
that. Yeah, I've heard people say like, unless you just have money to throw, like, don't get a horse because they're kind of
Hay
a money pit.
burners.
Yeah.
Hay burners.
Yes, I was like, well, maybe I'll wait till I have some money to burn, but
Yeah.
horses, yes.
Well, thank you so much. For the people that want to ever get in contact with you or watch some of your videos, where can they find you at?
Really just Instagram and YouTube. Both of the handles are Homestead Cortes.
Perfect. Yeah, everyone, please give her a like, subscribe, follow her on YouTube as well. She's killing it
Yes.
over there. Love those
Yes.
videos.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. Once again, I really appreciate having you on here and take a little time out of your day and get to know you a little more. So
yes, thank you for having me. This is my
definitely.
first podcast and I had a lot of fun. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to be here for your first one. That's awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yes.
We'll catch you around on Instagram.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye.
All right, everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming again. I appreciate all the support. If you can, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Keeps you updated on all the podcasts. We got podcasts every week. We're going hard right now. This is the best chicken podcast in the world right now. So let's rock it. Have a great one, everyone, and we will see you next week.